Good morning. Welcome to both in the sanctuary and online at home to the UU St. Pete Sunday service. Okay. And we'll switch. I'll be on a better mic in about 3 minutes. So welcome to the Sunday service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of St. Petersburg on the unceded ancestral lands of the Tocobaga and Seminole Native Americans. My name is John Motter, and I'm a member and also on the worship committee. On Sundays, when Reverend Ben is not here, it's the worship committee that brings the service to you. And I'm really excited today to bring the service Am I Worthy of Love, along with the choir and today's worship associate, Beth Stombaugh.
Thanks, John. If you want a church where we believe that everyone is worthy of love, where Black lives truly matter, where love is love, and where we value and respect our planet, I have good news. You may have found your church home. We have 2 announcements for things happening today. First, a reminder that today is Social Justice Share the Plate Sunday, where 1/2 of the loose offerings will go to support the operation of this church, and 1/2 will go to the social justice UU's Helping People programs. This month, we're supporting the St. Pete Free Clinic, which provides health care, nutritious food, recovery housings, and education to our neighbors in need. The need has never been greater. Our second announcement is...
Oh, this popcorn tastes so good. Oh, I love it. Oh,
excuse me, you can't
really
eat
good
in the sanctuary.
Oh, it's okay, I know. I got special dispensation, and as long as I eat fast, and I only talk for about a minute, it's all right. But besides, Beth, I know you like popcorn too. And if any of you, which I'll bet also like popcorn, you can enjoy some of this delicious treat at our session after the service, What to Do Before You Kick the Bucket. Now that's when elder law attorney and estate planning expert April Hill will be here with us. You may recall 3 years ago she came and she was a big hit. Now in this session you'll get helpful tips, information that will assist you now with your planning, and it will help your loved ones later when you're gone. So we'll be in Conway Hall we're hoping to start about 11:45 after this service is over. There'll be popcorn, some other goodies like homemade ginger snap with Ghirardelli dark chocolate chip cookies, and it'll be fun. So see you after the service. Thanks.
Thanks, Beth and Kathleen. Please read all the announcements in the order of service, or, and this is especially true if you're online at home, check out the webpage uustpete.org, as well as the US St. Pete Weekly, which comes out each Friday evening for the announcements. We are a people of many beliefs, but we share a common faith that what we do in this world matters, and that we are connected to one another and to our planet. Whoever you are, wherever you are in your journey, you are welcome here. I want to give a special welcome to any newcomers that are here today. If you're new to St. Pete, or UU St. Pete, or even relatively new, can you give us a wave? Great, welcome. We're so glad to have you here. If you'd like, please stand and introduce yourself. You're under absolutely no obligation to do so. This is terrifying for a lot of people and perfect chance for others. That's why we keep a hold of the mic when we come out to talk to you. But no, if you'd like to stand and introduce yourself, stand up and Beth will come out with the mic and you can say a word or two. Any takers?
Yep.
Okay.
There's one. Here you go.
Hi, I'm Chris Olson, visiting from Philly, thinking of moving here.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
Oh, there's,
Oh, thank you.
I'm Betty Vecchione. I've been coming down every year, staying with my daughter and coming to church here. Thank you.
right. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Anybody else? That's it?
Welcome to all our guests.
So, thank you for silencing your cell phones now. And then our evolving safety protocol is designed to protect the most vulnerable, and masks are strongly encouraged, but optional during the worship service. Let's take a moment to introduce ourselves. Remember to ask for permission before giving a hug or handshake, and we'll come back in about a minute after visiting.
Yeah. You want to ring that again? May, if you could be seated, that would be great. Thank you. May this
Third
truly
time may be the charm, I'm not sure.
May this truly be a sanctuary that inspires us to live out our faith by serving the cause of love and justice in the world. May our hearts be made kind and our spirits emboldened to act. May the fire of our commitment burn boldly, because we know that all beings long as we do for love, laughter, and care. Our flaming chalice is a symbol of Unitarian Universalism. It is a symbol of hope, the sacred, the quest for truth, the warmth of community, and the light of reason, and so much more. We bless this space and each other with our intention for love and service. When John lights our chalice, I invite you to say our covenant out loud. The words can be found in the text chat. Feel free to follow along with the two-hand movements, which I always forget. Hand to heart, then reaching out like you're serving. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now please rise as you are willing and able for our first hymn, Though I May Speak with the Bravest Fire. It's number 34 in the gray teal hymnal. Great hymnal. I said gray teal. Just gray.
Good morning. You may recognize this. Am I on? The words from Corinthians. Who says the UUs never quote from the Bible? Though I may speak with bravest far, and have the gift to all inspire, and have not love, my words are vain as sounding brass and hopeless gain. Though I may give all I possess, and striving so my love profess, but not begin by love within, the prophet soon turns strangely thin. Come, Spirit, come, our hearts control, our spirits long to be made whole. Let inward love guide every deed by this we were.
Thank you, Aaron and John. It's now time for all ages, so I welcome children to come forward. If we have, normally we have. Yeah. Maybe, boy, we got a bunch today. So we've spent the month here talking about love on Sundays. So how many of you have a friend? How do you, we have love of a friendship, it's a different type of love, but how do you show your friends that you care about them?
I sometimes play with them a lot,
So you play with them a lot? Anybody, were you gonna say something?
my friends are my besties.
They're your besties, that's good. It's good to have a bestie too. Anybody else?
I had a play date with one of my friends.
Very good. So have you ever gotten upset with your friends, or have they ever gotten upset with you? Yeah. Yep. It's not a lot of fun. So when you get upset with a friend, how do you make up? How do you show them that they're still your friend even though you're upset about one thing?
Give them a hug. I try to calm down and then I say sorry.
You say sorry. That's pretty good. Giving a hug definitely shows that you still care about somebody, and it's always good to say sorry if you've done something wrong, that you've hurt somebody.
Take them belly breath.
Take them belly breath? Oh. I have to find out what the belly breath is. Well, anybody else have anything? It was pretty short and sweet today. We just wanted to know that really your words show, yes?
That to calm down, you could do yoga and then say sorry.
I would need that, to calm down, to do yoga first, and then say you're sorry, because if I get upset, I don't always have the best of patience, so I'll have to take that one under advice. So yeah, the important thing is that we always have friends. Sometimes you're going to disagree with them, and they'll disagree with you, but you can always make up and rebuild that friendship. So with that, we'll send you off to RE. So we've come to the time in our service for joys and concerns. The service is being brought to you via YouTube Live, so please, if you're online, type your joys and sorrows into the text chat. If you have a joy, sorrow, or concern, you can submit it during the week to Reverend Ben at minister@uustpete.org. And if you'd prefer for it to remain off YouTube, let me know when you submit it. Right now, Vonda is going to put a stone in the water for each one that's read.
This is a concerned yet hopeful from Karen Cole, that young people, including our grandson David, and many other USF students, as well as students at other public colleges and universities in Florida, walked out of class on Wednesday for 1 hour to protest the governor's discriminatory educational policies regarding course content and the rights of professors. We need their engagement.
We certainly do. A stone of sorrow for Trayvon Benjamin Martin. 11 years ago today, Trayvon was murdered by George Zimmerman. Zimmerman, a neighborhood watch captain, disobeyed the 911 dispatcher and got out of his car anyway to confront Trayvon, who he thought was, was acting suspiciously.
A stone of sorrow for Adriana Cooch, a 14-year-old student at Central Regional High School in Berkeley Township, New Jersey. Earlier this month, a video showing several students physically attacking the teen was posted on numerous social media sites. 2 days later, Adriana took her own life.
Another from Karen Cole, that 9 members of the UU St. Pete attended the vigil at the John Evans Memorial on Thursday evening. Mr. Evans was lynched without a trial, and many in the crowd shot him as he hung dying. This happened in St. Petersburg in 1914. By sharing this brutal history, we can hopefully unite to address systemic racism within our city. And I want to add to that, while 3 of John Evans' descendants were present at the memorial, and part of their message was that they are here still, there are many of them, and they're strong and moving forward. Sadly, between 1877 and 1950, there were 314 other lynchings in the state of Florida. My mom's at home watching today, and sorry, Mom, I know you don't like me to cuss, but I'm going to anyway. Governor DeSantis, my message to you is that the African-American history sure as hell matters here in the state of Florida. And if that makes a white person feel bad about themselves, then they can get up off their ass and do something to improve the current day racial situation. Maybe that would make them feel a little bit better.
Yes, definitely. This is a stone of sorrow and concern from me, for my good friend Danny, who passed away on Friday after a fall and an unexpected brain bleed, and also for his husband, Peter, of 38 years, for his comfort and peace.
Sorry, Beth. A stone of concern from Basha, who's looking for housing that has an elevator and accepts dogs.
Okay. This is from Beth Fountain. She'd like positive thoughts and prayers are asked for her because she's having back surgery this Tuesday. We wish you well.
And a joy from Christine Barker, wishing my beloved child Quinn happy birthday today. They turned 34.
And this is a stone of sorrow from Reverend Ben and from many of us here at UUSP. Mary Kendall, who many of us knew at the Friday sunset supper, died yesterday surrounded by her family. She was one of 13 children from South Carolina, and she told us that her father was a moonshiner. Blessings on Mary and her family.
Is that it? Yes. Okay. May we bring, oh, we got to do the finals? I did the same mistake last week, so. May we bring to mind and hold close to our hearts all those known and unknown who are facing life challenges. May we model behavior that teaches our youth to value the worthiness of others and to reduce the incidence of bullying. May we embrace our differences and our commonalities with love, curiosity, respect. And may all those facing challenges find a comforting presence in the warmth of fellowship and community. With that, we place the final stone for those joys and concerns that are too tender to be shared out loud. The mystery is that we are connected, even when we feel apart. Let us rejoice in our beloved community that makes of the many one. So may it be. And before we sing Spirit of Life, let's observe 1 minute of silence. You can use this time for prayer, for meditation, or simply to be silent with others around you. And now we'll sing Spirit of Life.
This reading, and kind of a view from the pew today, is by Laura Conkle and myself. I'm glad you're here today with me and my disabled female self. We are here, and there is so much that fractures and divides our we. In Unitarian Universalism, our assumptions about each other so often fracture our sense of we. I wish for us to love on and heal our we. And so for just a minute, I'd like to talk to my UU friends and guests who are disabled, visible and invisible, LGBTQIA, unhoused, and BIPOC. My world makes so much more sense when I'm with you. The gaslighting and rejection and weirdness of this great wide world, and yes, of many Unitarian Universalist gatherings, can lessen and become background noise to our vibrant, honest, and passionate conversations. When we're together, I can slow down and relax. I can work with all of you to make sure people are included, and that means me too. I want you to know how I love your ways of being. I love your being. I love how you use your imagination to discover and create new ways to survive. And I wish with all my heart and soul we didn't have to. We are disabled, LGBTQIA, and people of color. And we know we need to navigate a dominant culture that is sometimes difficult and even toxic to us. We know we must build community and culture that values our lived experiences and nurtures our survival. We know we are practicing the rejection of ableism and transphobia and elitism and ageism and homophobia and racism and all exclusion. Oh, and I love how we already know that inclusion means all of us, and hospitality means honoring everyone as their full selves. We know we need disability justice, funding of expenses, access accommodations, inclusive language, gender-neutral accessible bathrooms, childcare, and all the things that can make it possible for all of us to be safe and well, loved and held sacred within Unitarian Universalism. I wish that every event that is planned moving forward is planned with us in mind and considering what we need, such as maybe an accessible chancel, an elevator, to make our church truly inclusive. Yes, most of you who know me probably expected that shameless plug from me. I wish that more reflections, sermon, and sacred texts include us and our wisdom, and in all the ways that you engage in Unitarian Universalism. I wish that you will find people who understand that, yes, you are worthy of love, and yes, you matter, and we all choose to include you. Our collective spiritual growth and resilience are important, not just to us, but to all Unitarian Universalists. So now I'd like to talk to everybody about all of us. I hope that all of us, all together, build our resistance to the many assumptions all of us tend to make about who is in the room, who is at the table, and who is in Unitarian Universalist spaces, both online and in person. I pray that each of us decides to begin to heal our we. I pray that we cast off assumptions and choose to build a Unitarian Universalism that holds each and every person sacred, worthy of hospitality, inclusion, and love. May we know our potential for love and beauty, for we are all love and beauty, real love that stretches to encompass our human fallibility we all have, resilient love that unfurls to create and support our vulnerability we need to thrive, actual beauty that honors all seasons, phases, and aspects of life, fierce love and fierce beauty, fierce enough to stay in touch with and reflect true reality. We are all beautiful, smart, and strong. We are all fallible, whole, and vulnerable. We matter. All of us matter and are worthy of love. So may it be for you. So may it be for me. So may it be for all of us.
Thank you, Beth, for those powerful words. I'm inspired to changed the first word of our song from walk to roll in your honor.
Our second reading is Human's Core Function is Love by Adrienne Murray Brown. She was a women's rights activist and black feminist based in Detroit. When we are engaged in acts of love, we humans are at our best and most resilient. The love and romance that makes us want to be better people. the love of children that makes us change our whole lives to meet their needs, the love of family that makes us drop everything to take care of them, the love of community that makes us work tirelessly, even with broken hearts. Perhaps humans' core function is love. Love leads us to observe in a much deeper way than any other emotion. If love were the central practice of a new generation of organizers and spiritual leaders, it would have a massive impact. If the goal was to increase the love, rather than winning or dominating a constant opponent, I think we could actually imagine liberation from constant oppression. We would suddenly be seeing everything we do, everyone we meet, not through the tactical eyes of war, but through the eyes of love. We would see that there's no such thing as a blank canvas, an empty land, or a new idea. But everywhere there is a complex, ancient, fertile ground full of potential. We would understand that the strength of our movement is in the strength of our relationships, which could only be measured by their depth. Scaling up would mean going deeper, being more vulnerable and more empathetic.
This is our fourth, excuse me. This is our fourth and final Sunday spent on the theme of love. We've talked about lost loves, which were made really poignant by Natalie's view from the pew about loving somebody that couldn't love her back. We talked about unsanctioned love, the love between people of the same gender, or people of different races, or people that just aren't normally recognized by society. Last week, we talked about the sometimes difficult work of love, the work that is necessary to create and maintain a healthy and rewarding relationship. This week, we'll conclude our love theme by bringing it back home to loving ourselves. Are we worthy of love? Am I worthy of love? Are you worthy of love? I'll cut to the answer now rather than keep you in suspense. You are worthy of love. We all are. You know, we are deserving of love, but how many of you have ever doubted your worthiness? How many of you have been made to feel undeserving? I empathize with any of you that has been made to feel unworthy. There have been numerous periods throughout my life when I felt unworthy of love, and it's a miserable place to be dwelling in. Why is it that people feel unworthy? I like to think that as children, we all feel fully worthy of love, but over time, life experiences teach us that maybe we are less than. These experiences come in many forms, many ways. Words of encouragement spoken by family, friends, teachers, and strangers. Words of hate or hurt spoken by those same folks. What we see and hear on TV, the radio, movies, newspaper, and in church. We are bombarded with messages that directly or indirectly affect how we see ourselves. As a child, I dealt with a severe speech impediment. I couldn't pronounce my R's or my S's. Mrs. Snow, a neighbor and really a lifelong friend, took care of me while my mom was in class at school. However, she felt so bad about not being able to understand what I was saying that she said she couldn't watch me anymore. And so I switched and went across the street to Mrs. Schreiner, who probably couldn't understand me any better, but still did her best. When I was 3, I began taking speech lessons with Mrs. Stump, and they continued until elementary school. At that point, I began taking lessons where you got pulled out of class, you were othered, you were that different person, where I could go and practice my speech. It's still, I hated it. It's still a struggle sometimes to say, Sally sells seashells by the seashore, or Farmer Rick drove his tractor around the red barn. To me, it was just torture to have to try and get those S's and R's out of my mouth. It was the cause of teasing throughout those years. At the time, I had no concept of being gay, but how perfect is it that I had the stereotypical lisp of somebody portrayed as being gay in the movies? Foreboding. It didn't do a lot to keep my self-esteem and self-worth up. You know, I don't know the answer to how you can make somebody feel better, but I do know that in time, as my speech improved, the teasing diminished, and that felt good. My grandmother loved to tell this story about me, and for years, I despised it because of the memories. Here's how it went. John was so cute when he was little. He'd say something to me, and I wouldn't understand, so I'd have to ask him to repeat it. And his response would be, "Never mind." You know, she thought it was cute. And it wasn't until many years later, as an adult, that I realized to her it was cute. It wasn't that I had a speech impediment. It was that I was just a sweet kid that had troubles talking, and she loved me for all of who I was. You know, what at a young age was such a burden was probably a blessing in the end. I learned to speak up for myself regardless of how I sounded. It probably taught me to have more compassion for the other others in the world. And it taught me that if I worked hard and persevered, then I could overcome a lot of adversity. And it taught me that people aren't always nice, but often that is a reflection on them and not on me. My mom and a family friend, Kevin, who's visiting this weekend, and I were talking at dinner last night. I said that I can't imagine how difficult it would be to be a child in today's world. The world is much more complicated than it was when I was small. Today's children face an environment where teasing and bullying can hit hundreds and thousands, then thousands with just the push of a button on a keyboard. That thousands can then move to tens of thousands and become viral. I had Beth read The Stone of Sorrow for Adriana Kuch. I understand how someone feels so unworthy that they think death is their only option for relief. At 17, I did attempt suicide. Fortunately, I was taken to the hospital before the medication I took had full effect. In the week following her death, more than 200 students staged a walkout in protest for what they described as a pattern of bullying that the district ignored. Sophomore Roman Valles said, "Adriana took her own life because nobody at the school was able to help or care or step in. I would like to teach the people who bully what they're actually doing and how it affects." Roman Valles has it right. People need to understand how their words and actions can push down or elevate those that they interact with. How difficult is it to smile at the person you pass on the sidewalk? Say thank you to the person that held the door open for you, or ask the driver how their day is going. These are very simple gestures, but they can make a world of difference to the person that's having a rough day. As UUs, we covenant to affirm and promote our 7 principles. The first 3 principles, I feel, encompass the idea of promoting this worthiness of love. 1, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. 2, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. And 3, the acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. If you look at the principles written for kids, that makes it even easier to understand. We believe that each and every person is important. We believe that all people should be treated fairly. And we believe that we should accept one another and keep on learning together. I point out these 3 principles because I need to figure out how I am supposed to find the girls that attacked Adriana worthy of love. I need to figure out how to find the individuals responsible for the recent mass murders worthy of love. I need to figure out how to find the many politicians that I disagree with worthy of love. It's easy for me to tell myself they aren't worth it, and yet I know they are. We all are. Reverend Ben already said that I can't say I hate the sin but love the sinner. And so that's fine by me because I think DeSantis is evil and I hate his policies. But I have to hold on for a second because we have this whole principle thing that I'm supposed to believe in, I'm supposed to follow. So for now, I can tell myself that he is worthy of love. I'm just unable to give him my love at the moment. But I know he's worthy of love because I'm sure his wife and children love him. I'm sure he is a loving father to them. And so, yes, he's worthy. I struggled with putting that on paper last night as I typed this. But is that feeling, my feeling, really a legitimate way to think? Am I really following the principles if I have to caveat it so much? So in looking at this issue, I looked to some of the proposed language from the Article 2 Commission's study report. There is a paragraph that reads, "Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living out shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Love is what holds me to covenant with all of you." In another section, it talks of the interdependent web of all existence. It goes on to say, "We covenant to cherish earth and all beings by creating and nurturing relationships of care and respect. With humility and reverence, we acknowledge our place in the great web of life, and we work to repair harm and damaged relationships." This I can envision. I don't think I can change the minds of many of the people that are working to ban books, erase the history of African Americans' contributions to our world, or to loosen gun control laws. Maybe Adrienne Marie Brown has it right. What would happen if the goal was to increase the love, rather than winning or dominating a constant opponent? She states, "There's no such thing as a blank canvas, an empty land, or a new idea, but everywhere there is a complex, ancient, fertile ground of potential." We would understand that strength of our movement is in the strength of our relationships, which could only be measured by their depth. Scaling up would mean going deeper, being more vulnerable, and being more empathetic. If we are all able to operate from a spirit of love, we don't teach others how to hate. We eliminate those events that make people doubt their worthiness for love. It sounds very out there and unachievable, and it is unachievable. This work we do is never complete, and it's never perfect. But if we make the effort, it will be constantly evolving and improving, and that's what I can strive for. I buy into this belief because it is the way for me to make sense of the world we live in and to be able to see hope for a path forward, something that I haven't always been able to see in these past few years. I can finally see that, yes, we may make it. We may come out on the other side if we can all just work towards a loving community. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I love being worship associate with him. Oh, okay. So now let us remember our connection to one another, and let us not forget our contributions to support the means to those connections. As mentioned during announcements today is Social Justice Share the Plate Sunday, where 1/2 of the loose offerings will go to support the operation of the church, and one half will go to support St. Pete Free Clinic. The link to give online is in the description box below your screen. You can also donate through the Vanco Faith Engagement mobile app or on our website under the Giving tab at uustpete.org, or by sending a check to the church office. In the sanctuary, the offering will now be given and received.
Please rise as you are willing and able for our closing hymn, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. Oh, no. Wait, love knocks and waits for us to hear it. It's number 1029 in the teal hymnals. Heart is in a holy place was last week.
So this is a new hymn on me, but the words are spectacular, I think. I'm going to sing the first verse through on La La La, just so you can hear the melody and join me. La 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 la. Here we go. Love knocks and waits for us to hear, to open and invite. Love longs to quiet every fear and seeks to set things right. Love offers life in spite of foes who threaten and condemn. Embracing enemies, love goes the second mile with them. Love comes to heal the broken heart, to ease the troubled mind. Without a word, love bids us start to ask and seek and find. Love knocks and enters at the sound of welcome from within. Love sings and dances all around and feels new life begin.
We now invite you to follow along with the hand gestures, light to head, warmth to heart, and fire with fingers. As Beth extinguishes our chalice, the words of UUSP's traditional chalice lighting or chalice extinguishing are in your order of service and online in the text chat. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of courage. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. Please remain seated as Aaron plays our postlude, and then Beth will have some closing words to offer.
Thank you, Aaron. This is Love by Infleshed. Love cannot be bought or sold. It does not make a profit. Love does not hide from truth. Love dives deep. Love takes on flesh. Love is queer. Love is platonic. Love confronts evil. Love delights in pleasure. Love touches and weeps and flirts and feeds and creates. Love is risky. Love challenges systemic evil in all its forms. Love is simple but not easy. Love is collective. Love rises up. Love apologizes. Love believes. Love corrects. Love holds accountable. Love pays reparations. Love heals. Love tells its story. Love embraces everyone, every creature, every creation. It knows us intimately. It holds us collectively. Love transcends every boundary that seeks to confine it. It will not tolerate violence in its name. It does no harm. It only sets us free. Please join us for coffee hour in Gilmore, but please return to the sanctuary for what to do before you kick the bucket.
To Conway, not sanctuary.
Oh, sorry.
No, you read it right. It was in the wrong.
It's a serious subject that'll be delivered in a light-hearted manner. Blessings.